Hello, Internet. Nerdlocker.com here, and I'm here with one of my favorite creators and all-around nice guy, Mr. Jon Layman. How are you enjoying the amazing Las Vegas Comic-Con?
It's pretty good. It's my third con in 3 weeks, so the gas tank is running on empty, but it's a good show.
Are you taking a break till San Diego?
Yep.
Or?
Yep, which is right around the corner. It won't be much of a break.
Absolutely. Let's talk Chew.
All right.
Recently, you guys had a kind of mashup comic come out with another Image title.
Did, Chew Revival, which I spearheaded. Everyone thought it was a bad idea and didn't understand it, and I had a story and I kind of had a vision for it, and I just wrote my half, and I stuck it in Tim Seeley's lap and Mike Norton and Rob Guillory, and I'm just like, hey man, this is what I envision. Don't get too worried about continuity. Don't overthink it. This is just fun, and I'm gonna tell a Chew story in my continuity, in Chew's tone, guest starring Revival characters. And if you don't like it, then this is just fan fiction. Just a love letter to you guys. If you do like it, then do your own thing and let's do a flip book, because we're at the point, and Revival is too, honestly. Revival's 20 issues in, Chew is 42 issues in. There's no jumping on points, and we're not doing these hey kids, jump on in issue 43, because it's a novel. You don't do that.
You don't start reading halfway through the book.
Yeah. So if you want to know what Chew is? Well, check this out. For $5, you get a complete Chew story and a complete Revival story. So it's like Chew 101, Revival 101, mixed together in a good jumping on package.
Are there any other books you want to do that with, or is that just a one-time thing?
Well, I want to do it with Six Gun, and I've let it be known to Oni and the Six Gun guys, but I don't think they understand it. And I also want to do Quantum and Woody with Valiant, and they know it, and they're really into it. I don't have the story yet in my head. And then one of the things that made Chew Revival easy is its image. I won't ruffle any feathers, and Tim owns it, so Tim and I can just kind of make a handshake deal, and Tim and Mike, and make it happen. Whereas if you're working for another company, there's all kinds of weird logistics. So the other ones will be a little more work.
Now, being that you said you just kind of do this for fun, I know you and I were talking yesterday briefly about the kind of number differences that have happened in some of the Chew issues. Early on, you guys jumped to number, what was it, 20?
Yeah, we jumped, we did Chew 16, 17, 18, 27, 19. But the way we did it was, we jumped ahead to show you the future of Chew, focusing in on the character we were introducing who could see the future, which I thought was weird, crazy, Chewy stuff. But what's funny now is we're now working on the 10th trade. That appears in the 6th trade. If you're a trade waiter, or if you've gotten on Chew late, you have no idea this happened.
You're just reading it as a story.
Yeah, because we printed 27 between 26 and 28. So it was a weird, strange gimmick at the time that now most people, except for the people who were on board then, didn't know or have forgotten.
And you guys, you mentioned you're doing it again, too?
Doing it in a different way. This is a long ways off, but as we limp towards the end of Chew at issue 60, between 59 and 60, we're going to print 16 and a half, just to kind of stretch it out that much longer.
Confuse people over again?
It'll confuse people. It makes sense to me, and I think it'll make sense when it happens. But we've got, if you look at it from a numbering perspective, we've got 17 issues left. We've probably got more 18, 19, 20. But we're still approaching the end.
Yeah.
We're closer every issue.
Do you have, I've always wondered this reading, do you have any background in food or anything, or are these just
No, my wife is a foodie, and all of her friends are, and I've gone to so many dinners where they're arguing about truffle butter or this or that saffron sauce, and it's nerds, it's us arguing about who's stronger, the Hulk or Batman, or the Hulk or the Thing, and foodies are nerds in their own way, and that was at least part of the genesis of Chew, is watching these people. You're God, what are you talking about? But it's their own world, and they're into it.
Do you have any surprises coming up in the book?
Chew, like we've got a double whammy of Chew 44 and 45 are just horrendous cliffhangers. Like anyone who's trade waiting, first of all, they're going to get spoiled by the internet when they say, "Oh my God, this happened."
Yeah.
But then to have to wait 9 months or 10 months for the next trade, is it? It might be less than that. More like 7 or 8 months. It's going to be agony between trades 9 and 10.
Start going through the boxes at the shop looking for those shoes.
Well, I'm hoping that it gets people reading floppies because they can't wait, because the cliffhangers, it's just horrible where we're leaving off at 45.
I'm sure, like, when I read that, just be angry at you.
Yeah, I'm going to go into hiding for a little bit.
Now, recently you were on Batman Eternal.
I was on Detective, and that ended.
Detective.
And then I was on Eternal, and that ended. And I walked from Eternal, not for any bad reasons, but I was getting behind on Chew. And at the time I took Eternal, I was on Detective, and then DC, they didn't fire me off Detective, but they're like, we're shaking things up. It's been 2 years, it's time for some new blood. And they offered me some other stuff, but I was behind on Chew, and I just thought, okay, I'm going to get ahead of Chew, work on Eternal. But it was so much coordination, and I like the Batman universe, but I don't know it encyclopedically.
Yeah.
And the Batman Eternal is this weekly that touches on every single aspect of the Bat universe, and I liked Detective because it was kind of like Batman animated. I could pick my villain and tell kind of an almost self-contained story, and Eternal was like kind of fan service for people who love every bit of the Batman universe, and it's not me.
Yeah.
And the coordination between 5 people, even though they're all great writers and we all get along, it was a lot when I had a lot of stuff going on with Chew, and it's like something had to give. It wasn't going to be my own book.
Now, being that you write, Chew, your own book that you own, when you go and write for a company like that, how much freedom are you given?
Well, depends on what you're trying to do, because if you want to write a thing where suddenly Batman gets, new powers and decides to rape everyone on the bus, that's not going to happen. But if you color within the lines, if you have to sort of realize that you can't play God. You're kind of a shepherd here, and you're just you respect the character, you respect the audience, you respect the publisher, and you'll get along fine. I think some people go into big 2 books super ambitious, thinking they're going to write the ultimate this or that tale. And with Batman, you're dealing with 8 different books. So suddenly, like, Robin dies in one, you gotta touch on that.
Adjust to that.
And the people who are really rigid, who are like, I'm writing the ultimate book and I can't, deviate from my story structure, they're in trouble. But I went into Batman like it was jazz, and it was just like, all right, what do you need me to do next issue? And I thought ahead, but not too far ahead, and I was flexible enough that I could throw in anything they needed to reflect what was going on in the rest of the Bat universe. So, I think if you're a professional writer and you've written for licensed stuff long enough, you know how to do it. And also, I used to be an editor, so I could appreciate, what editors go through. It's not an easy job, and the Batman experience was good and easy. It was just took too much of my time.
Do you have anything else in the works, or anything else you can kind of...
Well, the Chew cartoon, but I don't really... I'm kind of overseeing it, and they keep me apprised of everything, but I'm not necessarily like the decision maker, and things happen really fast, and then they don't happen for a long time, and then they happen really fast again.
So it is going to be a cartoon. It's not live action?
The live action will be a live action.
Oh,
the
so
cartoon will be
going on.
Well, the live action is what we're the cartoon is what we're focusing on now, but they're still, working on a live action thing kind of slower and in the distance, and right now we figure we keep getting the comic book out, we get a cartoon. If these keep doing well, it's just more ammunition for live action.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, sir. This is Jon Layman. Make sure you guys are reading Chew.
Thanks for having me. Hey, this is Jon Layman. You're watching Nerdlocker, the place for your inner nerd.